All right, guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman Studio. And today we've got Alexi in the chair. How you doing?
Thank you for having me, man.
You're welcome.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. So, what's the plan? What are we doing today?
You know what? I've come all this way. I was hoping I could get some direction. It's been a struggle in my hair for a very long time.
Okay.
And I would just love some advice. I think I'd like to. My mum and my friend Ali would love for me to take some length off the top, but I really do enjoy the curls, but at the moment it's just really hard to manage.
Okay. In terms of the look, what are you trying to achieve? What is the look you're trying to go for?
I think right now I think I would like maybe when it's wet, it gets a lot longer. I would like to keep some length, but at the same time, I think right now you can see I did towel dry it before I came here, and you can see here some bits are longer than others. So I think the middle almost falls almost like a triangle here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then these areas are just a bit higher. Okay. I think I would like it in a way where, let's say I don't style it, that it could, when it does fall down, it will fall down and it looks okay.
Okay.
And on the sides, I think maybe here it's a bit too long.
Okay.
So basically, I think I would like a taper. I think would look quite nice. I don't know what you think. Like a taper.
Yeah.
And to keep some weight on the sides and the back would be quite nice.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. When you say weight, do you mean length?
Oh, length. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say because there isn't much weight in the hair when it's curly at the moment. It's quite flyaway really. It feels on the sides. So you probably why you
very flyaway.
Have you been getting the sides tapered?
A little bit, yeah.
It looks like a lot to me.
Do you think it's too much?
I think the only issue I've got, I'll just show the camera, is the taper itself has been completely disconnected to everyone else.
Yes.
So you've just got the whole side shaved off. So it's going to be a bit difficult connecting that in to somewhere. So again, it looks like there has been kind of gone, and obviously the back's got a nice connection to it though. You can see that's been done, but the sides are quite separate. Now, the only issue with that is the sides aren't very wide. Okay. Now, when you think of the sides, there is what's left of your side. So that's when you're around now. That's what's left of your sides, what I've turned up there.
Okay. So not much.
There's not a lot of sides there really. It's just that little, it's almost like 2 fingers width and long. So it looks like there's more because of the length.
Yeah.
But actually a lot of the sides have already gone. So I think what you might want to do is, if we were to do a taper on the sides as well, we might have to graduate the sides into the top a bit more. So you might have to lose a bit of length here. Because if it's just tapered out and you're struggling with the hair, a lot of the time there's no connection within the haircut.
Yeah.
That's why the curls don't fall well, because they're just isolated and there's no support anywhere within the sides to help the curls kind of form nicely. So if you're just shaving it up to here, so you're just doing like a line, for example, and then putting a taper in, these side bits will just stick out.
That's what's been happening. Yeah.
And it looks wilder than it needs to be. It almost looks like almost mushroom effect, doesn't it? If you look at it, it kind of comes out and then flat. So I think that one of the reasons that's happening is because of the cut. So you pull that away, the sides are completely gone. Yeah. So then you've just got all this hair hanging over and there's nowhere for it to really live. So I think you might have to connect that into the sides. So you might have to lose a bit of length in the sides a little bit, just to be able to, because the sides for me, the back and sides create like a foundation to the top. So the top falls into the back and sides. And then when you've got anything going on with like some sort of like disconnection or something like that, if the disconnection isn't put in there for a reason, it's just in there just because it's just kind of there for the sake of a taper looking nice. You've got to think what else comes from the taper. Yeah. So as good as the taper might look, if that's the only thing you're focusing on, you're not really focusing on what the rest of the hair's doing.
No.
So that you've got to focus on what the rest of the hair's doing and how good the taper looks. It just means we have to lose a bit of length off the sides. But I think there might be enough length through here that I can still get my fingers in. So we might be okay to connect that in. So you might have to lose a little bit of length on the sides.
Absolutely.
But I think it'll help.
The way you speak about it and the way I've watched you speak about it is like, that's what I want. I've been craving that, because I think right now it's just been getting my sides done and being a bit too scared to get the top shorting, because I think the word you use, disconnection, that's how it feels. It feels like one part is just, it's not like
it's like 2 haircuts. Yeah. Essentially what you've got at the moment, you've got like a taper and then you've got like long hair, but there's nothing that's connecting the two. No. You know what I mean? So I think the problem is, if you do go somewhere, it's not like the barber's fault or anything. If you're going somewhere and your hair is getting longer, but you still want a taper, I mean, you can't knock the barber for turning you. He's not going to turn you away, because it's obviously money, right? That's his job.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there comes a point where you've got to stop getting a taper. You know what I mean? If you're growing your hair out, you've got to stop getting one done. Or if you do get one done, get it more into the beard than into the hair.
Yeah.
So maybe just use the sideburn as the taper. you know, instead of the sides being tapered into.
Sure.
Otherwise, you'll always end up with that mushroom, because as good as the taper looks for like a few days and everything looks really fresh, you've got to think 10 days from the haircut.
Doesn't look good.
If you're not going back every 10 days, it doesn't look good.
And I don't go.
It's grown out.
Dan, I don't go to the hairdressers very often, so I think, that's the problem too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think if we were to put a taper in, we can still do that, but we might have to alter the shape slightly for that, okay? Just to create some sort of haircut, if you know what I mean, more than it being two separate haircuts, which it almost is at the moment. Because even though it just looks like the sides, every part of the head is needed to create a haircut. If the sides weren't needed, then it wouldn't matter, would it really? But if you think of all the styles that you can get done, the sides are pinnacle to these looks. Like whether it's, if you look at haircuts like where they flow backwards, the sides and the sideburn is all really intricately detailed to make the sides fall back. If you get rid of the sides, then you can't get that look. You know,
I was
to
younger,
enjoy it,
you know what? I used to have a haircut like yours when I was younger, and I think since my hairline isn't as strong as it used to be, I have tried to hide it a little bit with my hair falling down.
Yeah, that's good.
But you know what? I don't. As much as I like it falling down, like I said, when it does fall down, it falls down in the middle, so it actually kind of makes it look worse.
It does, yeah.
It does make it look
like
worse.
you said, the point.
Yeah.
It's coming to a point because of the hairline. So essentially what you do with that, I
sure.
was actually going to move on to that next. I was just thinking of that next, actually. What I'm going to suggest for you to do is actually take the fringe a lot shorter than everywhere else. That will fill it up more. And when it drops, it'll sit more even. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. That was one of my biggest questions to you, is that do you think not illusion, but you can use that, like illusion, or bring high will actually make it look fuller?
100%, yeah. So the way I'd cut yours is I'd cut yours like a crop. So if you've ever watched any of the videos where we do a crop, we section it down the middle, we separate it across the hairline and we cut it blunt. So it's shorter in the middle, longer in the corners, and as that dries, it sits really full all the way through. So as it drops fuller as well. Yeah. So that's how I would do the top. Yeah,
amazing.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. So in terms of a taper, how short do you want to go on the taper?
Do you think you would, given that even though I've said I wanted a taper, would you still go for it?
Yeah, I think you'd have to today because it's too much of a taper still. So I think you'd have to just do a lower taper. So all I'd do is I wouldn't take the sides away. I'd focus more down on the sideburn into sort of just below the temple. Yeah. So I'd use the temple as the guide and I'd work up from that, because I need to kind of be able to connect in these bits to the taper here. So I need to be able to get it through my fingers to be able to connect.
I like keeping it low.
So,
I used to always have it quite high, but now if I'm keeping the top longer, I thought maybe keeping the sides longer would be good. But obviously now you're saying, I'm known, like my sister, everyone, all my friends know, like I have that mushroom kind of hairstyle. And maybe I should. Maybe I should
but if that's your look, then that's cool. Like if that is what your look is, then I mean, it's not really like as a haircut. It's more of a personal kind of finish. It's not something I would suggest doing because it's obviously I work on face shape and head shape. That's what I was always taught, was to match haircuts to face shape. And obviously you can obviously go off a little bit on that with creativity.
You know what, Dan? People have said I've got quite a big head, right? And to have even bigger hair makes my head look even bigger. So I think to go for something a bit more compact would obviously be better.
It just leans the face out. Essentially what we were always taught was, when I was taught to do men's hair, it was about leaning the face out, because everybody wants a lean face. Every guy wants a solid jawline and a lean face.
100%.
And that was what I was always taught. So maybe my thinking is maybe a bit more old school now because of how long I've been doing it, but it's never failed me yet. No. And I think if that's what most people want, without maybe saying it, then maybe if we just stick to kind of keeping everything lean. Now, obviously, you will alter it slightly, but the whole point of it is to try and work with the face shape and try and give the face shape like a streamlined finish. That was I was always taught.
Perfect.
And it seems to be still, if you look at a lot of the haircuts that are going around now, everything still seems to be fitting in with that same kind of thought process. Maybe it's not spoken about as much anymore, but that's kind of what people are looking for, is to match up to the face shape. And that's when you get the compliments. I could give you the same haircut you've ever had with every other barber, but if I do it to match your face shape, that's when you get the compliments. As a professional, when I'm doing a haircut, that has got to be, you've got to look at like structure and balance and everything else. If you turn to me and said, look, this is just my look, overgrown look, whatever else, yeah, that's cool. I'd do it for you.
I think you're right. That's not my, that's become my look, but I don't think it is the look that complements my face, as you're saying.
That's it. It's become your look, hasn't it? It's become something of yours. It's become your look more than it being maybe the look that you can. Because you can still have the curls wild. You can still have all that wildness of the curls, just structured though. You know what I mean? It's like, if you told me like, I want to keep the curls wild and I want the taper at the very bottom, I want this and that. That's you telling me what you want, and I go, okay, Sam, that's your look. Anything else I add to it wouldn't really matter to you, because that's what you want. So my whole process of cutting hair would be more like, okay, well, let me make sure the taper looks nice, let me make sure the back looks nice, let me make sure everything looks even. But face shape and structure and all that wouldn't come into it if that's just how you wanted it. But if you're coming for advice, I've got to give you the advice that is about structure and balance. Do you get what I mean? So it's more down to if you want that look, then we'll do it. I mean, I'll do my best and I'll make it look my best.
Chance, man.
If you want it to be more structured and balanced, then that's the kind of advice that I can give you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are we doing the beard today as well? Are we trimming the beard as well?
Yeah, if that would be okay.
If you want that doing, yeah, of course, yeah.
If you have some time, that would be just to kind of match it all up, because maybe this is also a bit too. It wouldn't really complement the hair. I think if we're doing it's really quite short, I would say. But do you think like a 1 or a 0.5 would be too, at the lowest point, would be too short?
How short are you going with the beard?
I'd like to keep maybe the chin length this length is okay, but maybe just kind of trim this area.
So do you want it tapered into, so you want it more blended in from the sides,
I think so, yeah.
I mean, any length on the back and sides will work then, because if we're tapering it in, then it just, again, it's a bit like the sort of sides. When it comes to how high you go with the taper, it's how low you go with the beard taper.
Sure.
So it just depends on what you like. I mean, a 0.5 would be fine. I think a 0.5 would be totally fine.
Because you want to keep it low. You want to keep it low, don't you, anyway? Mm-hmm. So yeah, 0.5 or a 1 would be...
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
You have so much experience. I would, whatever you feel free and to do what you think is best, because at this stage, I'm just so comfortable with this look that, like I said, this look isn't me anymore. So if you think that a 0.5 or a 1 or a 1.5 would be best, then I'm absolutely fine with anything.
Yeah, sound. That's cool. Yeah, I think the taper will come towards the end of the haircut though. Okay. So we'll see what the haircut's looking like, and then we can kind of decide then. You know what I mean?
You know what? I've read so much over the last 10, 15 years when I used to just really enjoy watching videos like yours and others. I've learned so much, but I never put it into practice. So maybe now is the time that you're the encouragement I need.
Yeah, I am, but don't leave it too late, because no matter what haircut I give you, if you're not looking after your hair, the haircut won't be as good. That's a simple fact. If you're not hydrating your curls, you're not looking after your curls, you're not towel drying them properly, you're not applying the right aftercare, I can give you the best haircut of your life. But if you're not maintaining it, it won't look like a good haircut. It's as simple as that. All right, cool. Well, let's get this. Do you mind if I shampoo and conditioner?
Of course, yeah.
All right, cool. We'll do that then. So, I'm going to start off by creating a T-section. And we're going to start cutting the fringe in now as well. So, I'm going to start building this up. Shorter at the front and building this thicker shape all the way through. Right, that's what we're going to do. And then that way, as the fringe falls, you'll have a really nice full hairline. Okay, but again, drying it naturally. I'm going to put the diffuser on this at the end, but I'm going to hold it from a distance and just dry it. Just put a bit of heat just to dry it through. I'm not going to hold it close. I'm not going to over dry it. Probably dry it to about 80% dry.
Why is that?
Because I don't want to dry your hair out. Your hair will just frizz with heat completely. So if I hold it from a distance, the heat is less intense. It's just warm. Got you. And I just want to dry it a tiny, tiny bit, just so you can see the finished result. That's all it is, really. So I'm going to cut this quite a bit off. Way too long at the front. Work on this side now. Pull this down. So this is where we start to build up the front, start to thicken up that hairline. So as that dries, you end up with a really nice fuller hairline. It's going to create that shape that we were talking about as well. So what made you grow your hair out then? But what was the reason?
I wouldn't say I maybe chose to
Unintentional, was it?
Yeah, no, Dan, I've been struggling with my mental health these last few years, and I've just been struggling to get myself to the barbers. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
It's very a lot of people are being like that, to be honest, buddy.
Yeah.
Good. Did you ever find when you got the barbers that it helped with the way you felt?
You know what? Whenever I've gone to the barbers, it's always been a great chat, and it's always been a nice social environment, to be honest.
Nice. Place you can talk, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a place I can talk, you know. But I think I avoid it because I know that I struggle with like perfection and OCD. And I think, I was in hospital for quite some time, a couple of years back, and I've just been struggling to do things out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
But I think, as you said, Dan, like to wash my hair more often, to do things more often for me is the best thing, rather than rather than to avoid it. I avoid a lot of things, but we know that the only way to get out of a cycle is to give it a go, and seeing you and to maintain the things that you tell me to do, like just to maintain my hair and to look after it.
Yeah.
Just to make it like a routine in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Routine and discipline is kind of the key to everything, really, isn't it? It's the key to, like, if you think of, like, training, eating well, gym work, whatever it is, it's always a routine, isn't it? It's discipline and it's routine. And if you can do that with your hair, like, for example, the way I try and do it with hair, especially when it comes to, like, the shampoo and conditioning routine, is if you discipline yourself to do it on certain days, it's just easier to maintain that way because you're doing it on set days.
Interesting.
So you get used to it, you get used to doing it. So the way I did it was I would do mine on a Sunday and a Wednesday. So the way I looked at it in that sense, reason why I picked Sunday and Wednesday was because Sunday was like the start/end of the week, and Wednesday was hump day, middle of the week, right? So it was an easy one to remember because it was middle of the week, end of the week, / start of the week. So I just done it then. And I think if you discipline yourself that way, it becomes easier. It's like anything, isn't it? If you discipline yourself in anything, it'll become second nature in the end.
Yeah.
And it's literally just 2 shampoos, bit of conditioner, working my fingers through it. While you're doing that, shower the rest of your body so you're leaving the conditioner on. Pat dry, get a nice comb it backwards.
Yeah.
We'll just pat dry it.
I always comb forward, and I guess, I don't know, it's always in my eyes.
Yeah, no, comb it backwards and then pull it forward. So if you comb it forwards, it'll tend to, because it wants to grow that way, you're almost encouraging it to sit flat. Whereas if you comb it against the way it wants to grow, you're giving it more height and more volume. So you'll get a lot more volume, a lot more height. So this is what we call a profile section. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a shape. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm creating a shape in the hair now. And we're leaving everything sitting more fuller towards the front. So this is the length I'm taking it off the top. So again, not much is coming off through the back. A little bit more is coming off through the centre here, just before the hairline. But as I'm pulling this straight up, I'm not taking away what we've just done. I'm still pulling everything up, and we're still having that over direction. So as you can see, nothing's really coming off. But all that length is still staying nice and full into the front. So we're cutting in these corners now here. So we're leaving a corner in this haircut now. And we're just taking the sides. This is like becoming a guide for me, for the underneath. So as I start to work on the sides to connect in that taper, all this length here is just not doing you any favours right now. It's just the thing, this is the thing we talk about. I'm not sure if Liam caught any. Did you catch any of the backwash, Liam? Yeah. So we were talking quite a bit when we had the backwash about how it's sort of managing the foundation of the hair and stuff like that. And you were asking why it always seems to drop. Now it drops because there's nothing here.
Yeah.
So when there's nothing here, this bit falls onto nothing. Then this bit falls onto the top bit, that's also falling into nothing. And then everything just collapses on top of itself, a bit like dominoes. When you've got something here and you're building it all up, it collapses on itself, and that's what creates the shape. I want my haircut to go out well. And I think that's what everybody wants, is the haircut to go out well. It's only recently that I can remember where guys are going to barber shops every 2 weeks. That was very rare. That was happening for a long time.
Oh, you think people have a bigger gap in between their cuts?
100%, yeah, definitely,
okay.
yeah, definitely. Now the problem is you can't take that same approach with every haircut. You know what I mean? Like I don't want you coming back to me every 2 weeks. Like I when clients say to me, "Oh, when should I come back? 2-3 weeks?" I'm like, if you come back in 2 or 3 weeks, I feel like I've done a bad job.
No
you know
way.
I mean? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because I feel like it should last longer than 2 weeks. You know, that to me is not, I've not done a good job. So you know, and I'm not knocking the hairstyles that do need, you know, doing in 2 to 3 weeks, but they're just. I was never taught like that. I was always taught to make sure the haircut grew out well. Someone said to me once, a good haircut grows out well, and I've always stuck by that. I've always felt like that is true. That is definitely true. A good haircut does grow out well. And I think that's what you need to go for, you know what I mean? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work in a cross graduation to kind of get this to fall in shape. So I'm taking the section at the top into the top of the head because I really need to work on the section I've just used. So I've already got my guide in place. So I'm going to bring this from the sides. I'm going to connect this little bit in here. I just need to take this down a little touch just to connect it into the taper that's already there. So even though you can't see what would be classed as a taper, there still is a taper there, you see?
Yeah.
And there's still a disconnection to that taper. So I'm just going to connect that into the section underneath. So there's that guide there. I'm going to connect that in because I need to start using this as like part of the hair now. I need to start using this as part of the head and the guide that I'm going to use. And I'm going to build on this I'm going to pull this all down, so we're over-directing everything down. So we're starting to go from short to long by using what is currently the taper as the guide. And I'm coming into the top, because I've already cut the guide in, higher up. I'm going to use that as well. So there's a guide from top there. So this is what's going to balance everywhere else into now. So that's connected into the taper there, like so. So it's not just a solid line anymore. So the curls, they run in the family, I can see, yeah?
You know what? Yeah, you know, we were talking about all these products that you said you would give me advice. So, you know, for a very long time, like I said, I've put so much work into learning more about it, but I don't put it into practice. But all of my knowledge goes to my sister. So
I was going to say, you've got incredible curls. I mean, you should be able to give the advice.
I'm so emotional. I just like crying when speaking. I'm so happy.
Oh, that's lovely. But no, I mean, your hair is outstanding. It really is. I mean, so all the advice you've been given, you've been passing on to your sister, and she's took it all on board by the looks of it.
He knows all the stuff. It's just, I think today, honestly, you're going to be so motivated for him.
Yeah. Do you think sometimes you just need that little bit of a kick, a little kickstart, right? You know, I think you just need that, don't you, sometimes?
I think it's really, maybe it would be, maybe from one person to another, it's different. But for me, it really is really helpful when I get someone who knows so much as you do and gives me that encouragement and like motivation. It really does help me just to get going, and then from there it's up to me.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah,
I find that, I know some people may not find it as helpful, but I find it really helpful. So
no, I'm the same. Yeah, for sure. I think when someone who you know, if you go to someone who you would deem as a knowledgeable person, and they're saying all the same things you've always read and you've already know about, I think then it's kind of like, okay, maybe I just need to do this now. Maybe I just need to put this into practice. That's all it takes, isn't it? Just that little kickstart sometimes, just to do it. But you know, your hair would be lovely if it was just hydrated. There's literally nothing. There's no secret really. You know, there really is no heavy secret to making your hair look great. I mean, your sister's curls are unbelievable. So you know what I mean. What's stopping you from getting that? You know what I mean. At the end of the day, if you're giving all that knowledge away.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I want to do the best I can do, and if anything, it's really encouraging because maybe I can send you my progress and
yeah, man, definitely,
and keep me accountable.
But no, honestly, if you look at that, there are some really good products. I mean, you've got the sort of, you know, whatever your budget is a lot of the time, right? But like, look at the expense. You know what I mean? Figure out if that expense is something that you want to invest in, because again, it is a bit of an investment, right? You know, it's like I find it incredible how people still do the same thing and still think about like clothes in a way that they'll spend £200 on trainers, but then spend £3 on a hair product. I'm like, I still don't understand where your understanding of like what you think's okay to spend on certain things. Like £200 on a pair of trainers, which are probably made in the same place as every other trainer, but then you'll only spend a couple of quid on a hair product, which is like, you know, something you do every single day. I always still find it baffling, like how people justify the spending habits. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I do the same thing. You know, I won't buy an expensive pair of jeans, but I'll spend quite a bit of money on a watch. It's like, how the hell do you do that? Like, I wear jeans every single day. Where's the justification in that? But I still do it.
That's a really good way to put it. Actually, we don't really think about it. Like, yeah,
it's justifying it, isn't it? Really, you know, I used to say the same thing when people would like look at, like, you know, you'd spend, like, I don't know, say £500-600 on a suit. You'd spend £300 on a pair of shoes. Your tie would be about £100. But then you'd moan about spending anything over £10 for a haircut. You're like, how is that even justified?
Maybe in the back of their mind they're thinking that it's a more of a frequent thing. A haircut is more frequent, so maybe they want to keep it as low as possible. But
I think it's just based on what they remember as in society. Yeah. I feel like the industry was always so cheaply sort of sold that everyone was like, well, hang on, you know, I'm used to paying this cheap for a haircut, so why should I end up paying more with someone else? I feel like it's how society deemed our industry. and how we were price pointed. You know what I mean? Like if you think of barbershops, have always been known to be cheaper than salons.
In barbers, they're not as cheap as they used to be.
Because it's fine. Because I think we're finally getting our sort of our respect in a sense of like, you know, we should just be as expensive as a hairdresser. We're doing the same job, you know. We're doing, you know, and I think that was the problem. I think we were just always deemed cheap because it was quick and it was like almost short hair. There's less hair, so why should you charge more? Whereas I don't think it should come down to how much hair you got in your head. It should come down to the job you're doing and the time allocated, you know. So
I find it really for me. It's actually really therapeutic to watch your videos because I really, as I said before, I really enjoy the way you speak about it. It's almost like I can see the passion you have for it with the way that you describe and the way it's really, it's really enjoyable to watch.
Thanks, man. Yeah. I think I treat this as like a hobby though, as well.
Really?
My job's like a hobby, yeah. There's not many jobs in this world where you can really super enjoy them, right? Unless it's creative, right? Unless you really have a knack for it, right?
Yeah.
I feel like this job for me is like my hobby as well. I put as much effort into this as I would do if I was doing something else, which I enjoy. You know what I mean? And don't forget, if you think about work, right? If you're lucky enough to do something from school, like I did,
yeah,
I've got a good 40 years of doing the job. Why wouldn't I enjoy it? I'm going to spend 40 years doing it. Why would
40 years?
When you think about it, you're going to spend a good amount of time. By the time we retire legally, I started at 14 and the retirement age is 67. So what's that? I'm not good at maths, but what's that?
Sorry, I thought you were saying I thought you said you were doing this for 40 years.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like you work a long time, right? No. I haven't got some youth serum.
I was going to say,
not.
you look...
No.
You look good, man.
No, definitely not. But no, that's what I mean. If you're doing it for a very long time, right? So why would you not choose to enjoy it? You know what I mean? Like you may as well enjoy it if you're going to do it for this amount of time. So I never understand why people just do a job for the sake of doing a job.
As I Am, I know that.
As I Am. Do you know this brand? Yeah,
I do know, man. Yeah.
Good. So
I was literally telling my sister to buy it.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff. This is the so much moisture. It's like a lotion.
Okay.
And it just, it's unbelievable. It really is. So I'm going to put that in to start with, right? I'm going to finish off with a butter though. Okay, so it's a lot heavier, a lot fuller. I'm just going to leave this to dry in, right? And I'm going to do the taper now as it is. Okay. I'm going to let this dry in, okay? Now, again, this is going to dry in minutes because of how dry the hair is at the moment, all right? So I'm going to start off just by putting the number 2 on and working this down. So I'm going to work it up into where we've just started. So keeping it nice and low. And with the back, obviously, we're okay because the back is fine. It's not being disconnected or anything like that as well. So you can kind of work on the taper at the bottom there as well. We're not going to go too high because we still want to balance everywhere as well. So just below the sort of occipital bone is a good start. Keep it nice and low. The lower you go, the better you can sort of, you know, if you want to go a bit higher, you can choose to go a bit higher. So I'm just putting the number 2 in to start with. You can see I'm just working up just to where the temple kind of creates this shape here on the ear. I'm going to work down to the number 1.
Okay.
The 0.5 will be, once it's all dried off, I'll see what that looks like. But I'm going to work down to the number 1. So 1.5 on the neckline. Work that up and off. Work that up and off as well. With the beard, do you like it to look really smart and lined out, or do you like it to be more natural?
More natural, please.
Okay, so no sharp lines or anything like that at all?
I'm not really a fan of sharp. You know why though? Because it's just so...
Upkeep?
Not the upkeep, it's just because it's so dark, it's almost like a big... I prefer like a graduation, yeah, like rather than sharp lines. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was just wondering whether to edge out the hairline at the top, you see, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to just slightly just strengthen that slightly.
Oh, thank you.
To not create some sharp lines anywhere, because then that way it kind of won't work with the beard then otherwise. We're just working up to the hairline like so. It just cleans it up a little bit. So again, just tidying up around the ear. Give it nice and natural looking, so just to give it a bit of a cleaner finish. I'm not adding the taper into the edges and keeping them nice and full. So we're creating a nice shape. As you can see, by doing that, it keeps the hair still through the ears and through the sides, but just by tidying up the hairline, it gives a nice tidy finish too. Get rid of all the neck hair and create a nice natural line, just so then the taper can be even both sides. Break that up and off, not to push in too hard a line. This will create a more natural finish. Again, I know some people might want to create sharp lines there, but you've got to think, Alexi doesn't want it, so we've got to try and do what we can to make it still look neat without any sharp lines put in there. Now obviously, around the ears, that's a common place to have a sharp line, so I'm still going to put them in, but that's just because that's what's going to keep everything looking nice and neat and tidy. You can see I'm not adding a taper into this bit, I'm not tapering away the hairline first, I'm creating the hairline. But again, I'm not going too high, I'm not looping it too high around, keeping it nice and close to the ear, so when the ear falls back into place, it just looks nice and tidy.
When I go to the barbers, I always get teased that my neck hair is my second haircut.
You definitely got a fair bit of hair, mate. Yeah, there's no doubt about that, man.
You know, earlier you were saying about the length of time between each haircut, and you said maybe 2 weeks is it's a bit too quick.
It's exaggerated. Yeah.
What would you say a good time is?
Oh, I'd say like once a month. You know, sort of 4 to 5. Between probably 4 to 6 weeks, you know, that kind of time. I think my average time was always roughly like sort of 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks, something like that. What I noticed my average time of my clients coming in, especially when it was like just regular haircuts, you know, maybe not like what's been coming in lately in terms of trends and longer hair and medium length hair. They're usually every 8 to 10 weeks now, I'd say. So. But yeah, usually it's that, you know. I've got one guy who comes to me once a week, but he just has a skin fade and he likes it doing all the time.
Sure.
Pure personal choice. We give him a full haircut once a month, and we do what was called an in-betweener service of mine, which is basically just an in-between haircuts, just to freshen up on the back and sides. But he doesn't like to come. You know, I'm not coming in to give him a full brand new haircut every 2 weeks. He literally just wants the back and sides cutting all the time.
Sure.
Just because he personally loves the skin fade feeling. So. But it's not like I'm having to like give him a brand new haircut every week, cutting the top down or anything at all. It's purely just for his own personal taste. A lot of the time, like guys tend to come in for like advice, you know? They'll come in every like sort of like 2 months or so, and it won't necessarily always be for a haircut. They'll come in and go, right, Dan, I'm kind of at the 8 months mark now. What do you think it's looking like? Or I'm struggling with this. Yeah. A lot of clients come in just to kind of have a chat. They don't always even want a haircut. They'll say like, well, while I'm here, if you can just do the ends for me. But I kind of came in more just to get your opinion on where it's going.
No way.
Yeah. Which is really cool, to be honest, because it's a good way of staying in check. You know what I mean? Of why you're doing what you're doing and where you're going with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes people just need a little bit of backup. You know what I mean? A little bit of motivation. A lot of the time.
Dan, literally, I never get, no, not never, but you know, I think I've heard it before. People have said like, you have more bad hair days than good hair days. But one thing people always do compliment is like, oh, you've got a nice beard. But they never said anything about my hair. So it makes me feel sad.
I'm just finishing off with this now. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like you do have a cracking beard, and a lot of guys will compliment the beard because there's not many guys who can grow a beard like yours. It's as simple as that, right? I can't. There's no way. No way in hell will I ever be able to grow a beard like yours. You know what I mean? I'd love to, but I just know it's never going to happen. I'm just more follically challenged on the face than yourself. You know what I mean?
No way, but you've got a great set. Your head hair is really amazing.
My head hair is all right, but your beard hair is terrible. Yeah, definitely.
I had to show you a photo. Is it short for him?
Oh, really?
But yeah, it's a great feeling, and I think that's, you know, when you said earlier about spending money on things like not spending money on haircuts, but really when a haircut's really important for your self-confidence.
100%.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I think it really is, because you know, I said to you, well, I didn't say, but you know, sometimes when you're not looking the part, it can be a struggle to even leave the house because maybe you're concerned about how people are going to look at you, and so
100%.
To look after yourself is really important for your confidence.
Self-care is one of the biggest things, right? You know what I mean? It's not always about like, self-care isn't always just about like sort of it's not always for vanity reasons,
No,
is it?
no,
You know what I
no.
mean? It's not just because you want to, you want to, you're going out and you want to look, kind of good just because you're going somewhere. It's sometimes because it makes you feel good, doesn't it, as well, There we go. So this is a structured version of what you had when you came in. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
With a
100%.
taper in there to create a bit more finish. So as that falls at the front, it's going to fall nice and balanced. It's not going to fall to a V. But as you can see everywhere else, it's giving you an actual shape to the hair. So the taper's in there, but you've also got that nice finish at the back.
So
It
cool.
falls in nicely. You've got a nice silhouette all the way through, and the taper's in the sides when the beard's taken down.
And it looks like it
just finishes it off, basically.
You know what? The illusion of like a looking thicker as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. 100%. So when that dries in, that's when you'll notice it a bit more as well. But we'll do the beard now. I'm just going to trim these little bits through here, and then the main bit really is just adding in the sort of the taper down from the sides there, just to kind of bring in that shape. So we're trying to keep everything nice and natural looking.
Well, the other thing was, when I said to you about keeping it natural, is because my cheek, my cheek line is quite high.
Yeah.
I find it that when I start like messing around with the line, it just grows back really fast and doesn't look right.
Yeah.
So I guess
It can get lower down as well, can't it? That can be the
Yeah.
problem. It can get a lot lower down
So I
as
just
well.
try and keep it high, but like you were saying, just like kind of taper it a bit.
So do you want me to take the moustache down so it sits above the lip? Would you like that?
Maybe just a bit shorter, but maybe not so. Maybe like a little bit over the lip. Yeah.
A little bit over the lip, yeah.
And then he's drinking water, the whole moustache is literally in the cup.
In the cup, yeah. Yeah.
For 4 months, I've seen him with full beard since the age of like 6.
I was going to say,
I've not seen his face for like his whole life.
I'll take that down a touch anyway. I mean, normally when I'm doing a haircut, it's like you're pleasing the client, but if I can please your mum as well, I mean that's a winner there, isn't it? Can't take the moustache right off though, unfortunately. Can't do that. Do you want me to slip accidentally with the trimmer and just have to take the beard all off with that? I know. Can you imagine?
My mum was got fun.
Everyone's got a price, remember? So just tell your mum how much she wants to pay me, and I'll see what I can do.
Doing beards then.
Don't mind them at all, mate.
Yeah.
Fine, yeah. At one point, it was nearly every client used to get a beard trim at one point. It's kind of the beard trend is still here, but it's not as prominent as it was, When you're doing a beard like yours, this length and stuff, obviously, you can't really do it yourself. Obviously, it's very hard to do yourself. Like you were even just explaining yourself before, you struggled on certain bits. But if you've got anything like mine, like even at my length as it is now, you can kind of find a guard on a trimmer at home that you can use to kind of do it. You know what I mean? It's not that hard now.
No.
Not taking anything away from our profession, but the beard industry, the clippers and the trimmers have got so good that it's made it a bit easier for everyone to do their own beards at home. You know what I mean? And guys just take a lot more care in their appearance, so they'll take the time. A lot of the things it's just about taking your time. That's all it is, really. It's just about patience and time. So you can make anything look good if you just take your time with it. You know what I mean? Same goes for the beard. If you're just willing to take time on it and look after it, then it'll look nice no matter what you do. Let me set you up a second.
Oh wow.
So just a little bit tidier for you, okay? Just tape it down from the sides into the beard. Shape's in there. All sits nice. I haven't touched any lines or anything at all. And I've trimmed your moustache. I mean, you look so different just out of the moustache. It's incredible how different you look just without that really heavy, full moustache. It still hangs over the lip a little bit, but it's got the fullness in there now. I think you look completely different even in your face shape just by taking these sides down.
Even though we haven't taken that much off, it's like a big change.
100%.
I like the way also you just like subtly taken the cheeks off.
Yeah.
It's not like massive.
No, it's not. Again, I didn't want to do something that was going to be, everything's going to be a big change anyway. I didn't want to do something that's going to be a huge difference anyway. But can you see the way the fringe sits better now?
Yeah.
The side sits more balanced. Everything, the shape is there. You know what I mean? So, like I said, a little bit of butter in there. Kept it still with length on the ear, so it's all balancing and everything else is looking nice. The taper shines out a bit more without having to go too high. All I'm going to do now is just from a distance, diffuser on.
Could you also, like on a day where, like, I'm not doing my hair, do you think it will look nice falling down also?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah? You can leave it as you want. I just want you to see what it looks like completely finished.
Yeah.
So this is what it would look like if you left it to dry naturally. You know what I mean? This is all this does. It when you hold it here, it's just like a dryer hood. So all it's going to do is speed up the process of what it looks like when it's dried out.
Yeah.
But as you can see, it's not drying out as quickly with the products in it as it was just with water in before. So the fringe isn't going to fall as it was because it's got the structure and the balance in there now. And all I'm doing is just drying in this product a little bit. So I'm not trying to dry it out, I'm just trying to dry it in, you see. So just holding it from a distance and moving it around, and all that's going to do is just dry it through a touch more than what it would do if you left it to dry naturally. So it's just keeping the product in there.
Yeah.
It's going to fill the shape out that we've been doing. It's going to show you how it can sit when it's dried. And all you do is you pick it out a little bit when it's dried, like that, like I'm doing. And there's the shape put in.
Would you recommend using a diffuser at home?
Only every now and again if you wanted to.
Okay.
I don't think you have to. I feel like you just need to do it if you just want to go out somewhere or whatever, you know. Again, all I'm doing is just speeding up the process just purposely for the camera, because otherwise, obviously, can't leave it drying out for 45 minutes to film it, and it just dries it out, you know. I don't want to dry your hair out, but I want you to see what it would look like.
Oh, so that's why you're saying, so using it would dry out the hair, so
yeah.
Try to avoid it.
Try to avoid it. All I'm doing is very lightly drying it, just so you can see the finished look before you leave, essentially. That's what I'm doing it for. And obviously for the camera's purpose as well, so everyone can see what your hair looks like when it's actually, you know, mostly dried. So the shape is cut in that we've done, you know, just so everyone can see the finished look a bit clearer. That's all it is, really. And that's how it finishes.
Perfect, man.
So it just tapers in nicely. But then there's the silhouette. You see, the front's got the weight in it, but it's nice and full. And it all just sits around in a nice shape. So you've got a nice head shape. You've got the nice rounder shape at the front. And it all tapers down.
That's it, the foundation that we were looking for.
That's it. That's exactly it. Just took away that kind of harshness of the taper and just started to build it up into a shape. So now that will all fall nicely onto each other. And as you see, it's not dropping down at the front like it was. It's got an actual balance of a curl. That was pretty much it.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much, man. It was great to give you the advice.
Yeah,
just stick to it now, please, okay?
I will,
just stick
man.
to it, man. I'll have to hold you accountable now.
Nah.
I need monthly pictures. All right, man?
There you go. You're gonna literally what he looks like. It's come a long way.
Oh my God! Wow, that's one hell of a beard, man. Wow, that is an incredible beard. You really have, mate. You really have. Like a new man.
Thank you, Danny. You made my day. Thank you
very
so
welcome.
much.
Thank you, buddy. Right, let's just cut this off, you know.
Ah, man. Thank you, man.
No worries. I hope you enjoy the new look. That's the main thing.
It means a lot to me. Thank you.